All right, here I am, fresh out of the shower. My eyes are a little red because I forgot to take my contacts out until after I was getting out of the shower. So, fun times there. Not my typical order of operations. It's been a little bit of a weird day, but not a bad day at all. In fact, where I'm at right now is actually extremely promising in that I've been reflecting on what I've done over the last month, and I've been really just diligent about being consistent. And I don't even technically have to post this today to abide by the rules of my challenge because, on a technicality, I had a video go up later than I thought it would yesterday, but I'd already posted one that day too. But that would be following the letter of the law that I set for myself, but not the spirit of it, right? And I'm trying to be as consistent as I possibly can. But seriously, like over the last month, I have launched this YouTube channel. I haven't missed a day so far. Granted, that's not that long of a time, right? But it's not nothing. And then I also today pushed go on publishing my music to the world for the first time in years. And honestly, it's the most excited I've ever been about it. Not just for what I built, but what I'm building. And it's funny because on every domain of my life, I've been pushing it a little bit harder and a little bit better than where I was at before. But see, I don't feel like I'm burning out. I feel like I'm burning in. And what I mean by that is, like, if I can just structure my life and my routine to be doing the things that I love and put those systems and habits in place to help me be the version of myself that I want to be every moment of every day, that's not going to burn me out. Because the way that I'm working, I've really thought about making it sustainable and having a diversity of different approaches that all work slightly different muscles up here and yet are all part of the same broader pursuit of improving myself and living a meaningful life while I make a perpetual positive impact on the world, right? But yeah, like everything from setting new personal bests for how many sessions I'm doing as a trainer to consistently posting on YouTube every day to like actually making music again, and not just making it, but like figuring out how to use the tools and take the things that I've been able to learn as a singer and being able to apply those so that I can create music right now, which I just didn't think was going to happen. So there's a lot to be excited about. And we're still in the super early days here. Like, this is just that very first snapshot. And like in the time lapse, I need to go to sleep. It's that has been one area that I have substantial room for improvement, is sleeping better, and that will burn me out if I fail to be really consistent with my sleep. But in the time lapse of my life, this is a blink, but it's setting the chain reaction of events forward that, so long as I keep moving forward and keep acting, well, it's gonna create the best probability landscape for my life that I can create. And there's no guarantees. There's no way that I can control every variable. But if I am taking the actions to set myself up for a better future while living meaningfully in the present, then guess what? That's the best I can do. If said better futures actually come to reality, great. There's no way that I can bring those futures to reality without doing that. Like that is a prerequisite, is the meaningful action. Like there's no way that the futures that I want to build just happen accidentally in the absence of action. And so that's obviously enough of a reason to do it. But the other reason is, like, even if failure was guaranteed, like we're gonna blow ourselves up before any reasonable time frame on which I could make any reasonable impact to helping connect the minds who are capable of helping us rebuild our systems to be more sustainable. That was, that was the stupidest sentence. Well, it's just an overly pretentious sentence. And my intentions are good. Can you tell I write music? Anyway. But I really do want to make a positive impact on the world. There's a lot of things that I can do to help people one-on-one. But I also think that a huge aspect of my life is doing things that are in service of like one-to-many. And yes, that can be systems design, but it can also be music. Of like, there are so many songs that have really helped to shape the direction of my life. And to some people that may sound like an overstatement, but I believe that you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And that like the right song that you latch onto at the right moment of your life, in some cases it could be the difference between life and death. It really can. And that was definitely part of the experience of my adolescence, which I will elaborate on at a future date. But I'm actively working on the things that matter to me. And I talked about the past month, but if I zoom out further than that, if I go back the last 5 years, it's crazy how much I've grown up. And the better that I get my consistency, the better off I'm going to be. The better that I structured my systems, and the more robust I make them, the better my consistency will be. So it's still a work in progress, but I have a much better sense of what that needs to look like now. And if I'm doing what I need to do, you should not see me with my silly hair tie, because I need to be filming before I get in the pool. And I can. So that's really all I've got for today. And I really have had a good day. Connecting with some people who are important to me. Connecting with the music that I created and getting it all set up and ready to go. But not just ready to go, but released. Like, I pushed go, and that's not something that I've done in a minute. And now my capacity to build just feels so far beyond what it was before. So anyway, this is an interesting experiment of just learning in public, because it's kind of the opposite way of how I approached things before, of where I would work on everything being isolated, and then when it was quote unquote done, that's when I would show it to people. And that's not the best way to grow. Limiting myself from getting feedback is a suboptimal approach, for sure. And not just feedback, but the collaborative magic of building ideas together. I think there's something beautiful with that. And so that's why I want to build in public and learn in public. And might there be some trade-offs with that? Sure. I mean, hopefully you could tell from this video and every other one that I just process whatever it is that I'm processing, and I do my best to be as authentic as I can. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the people who are like really leaning into the YouTube algorithm. I understand perfectly well why they do that. That's just not the game that I want to play. I want to play a different game. I want to bring together the people who are ready to build a better game with me. One might even say an infinite game. It's funny how even though I don't script it somehow manages to come full circle from time to time. But what's funny is a lot of the things that I said probably don't make all that much sense to you right at this moment if you're watching this in the present. And I will continue to work on improving on not assuming context with these. That's one of the important things with having public journals of this nature. Whereas, like, what I'm used to with my voice memos is Like, I just assume full context all the time. And I guess, though, what I'm really getting at here is that the fact that I'm learning and developing the skill, the fact that I'm actively practicing that is cool, because there was nothing stopping me from continuing to just kick the can down the road and not post on YouTube. And this, I'm not going to say is like the most important thing that I have to do, but I think it could end up being important in ways that I cannot yet understand. And at the very least, it's just an opportunity for you to understand me as well as you would like to. And I think that there's something valuable about that. And I think especially looking forward, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I do have a good sense of what I'm attempting to build. And I believe that documenting that process of how I create a network of really brilliant, talented people around me, I think that that is a great way to operate. And do I really know how to do that right now? No. But I think that that's kind of the magic of this, is you get to watch me figure out that process of where I'm pretty sure, like on a recent video, I talked about having no intentions of wanting to release music in the near future, that I just wanted to keep practicing singing and keep getting better. But then the opportunities emerged that I was not expecting and couldn't have expected. Well, couldn't have a few days ago, but you get what I'm saying. Like, my thinking has already updated on that to the point of where I'm not even preparing for that. Like, I did it. I already published some music. And so that's just how quickly things can change in a matter of days. I gotta get the failure to launch video up on the Big Plans channel. But that combination, so between documenting my growth and the things that I'm processing, kind of telling the story of my life frame by frame in a little way here, and then really capturing the big picture and the emotional experience through my music, and then connecting with people who are way smarter than me on the things that we can build to make systems that self-correct instead of self-destruct through the Big Plans channel. Just building a network of innovators. That's really the goal there. But not just innovators, but people who want to innovate conscientiously and really build things thoughtfully, understanding the incentive structures that we create and the positive and negative externalities that need to be weighed when taking any course of action. And it's not easy, but that is what we need to do. And so bringing together a community of people who are capable and willing to do that, that seems like a very worthwhile thing to do to me. And I guess this is all in that same pursuit of where before I spent a lot of my life alone. A lot of that was just being sick all the time as a kid. And then the COVID years were weird. And yes, I said years because I ended up going through some health challenges during that time too. And took a pretty bad fall in 2021 and just was very trapped for a while. I didn't lose sight of the future that I was trying to build. I was definitely very isolated. And I'm not saying that I was comfortable like that, but I did become habituated to building by myself. And these days, I recognize that continuing to do that would be to fundamentally misunderstand what is actually special about humanity. And that is that we have the capacity to collaborate and coordinate together in some pretty incredible ways. Who knows where things go from here? But I'm excited. And it's just one more freeze frame in that time lapse. One more moment in my life. If I tell you I didn't sleep, I need to get some good sleep tonight. I'd been up late the night before. So not last night, but 2 nights ago, working on the music of like just discovering what that could do, waiting for my other video to upload because it was taking forever. But then, yeah, once I was on the, I probably ended up being up to like 4 a.m. And I woke up at like 10. And last night, I ended up getting home late. Not terribly late, but like probably close to midnight when I got home. Posted the video. And then the software that I have on my computer, like the cold turkey thing that like blocks off the internet, somehow it like broke. I don't understand. I uninstalled it and reinstalled it later and it works fine now. But yeah, it like had some sort of weird error, which is unfortunate for what that is supposed to be. But anyway, so after I posted my YouTube video, I ended up like scrolling through YouTube. It just drama and nonsense. Didn't serve me. And it was hard because I got home late. I needed to eat a lot more. And anyway, I don't need to make excuses. But yeah, by the time that I was really even in a place where I could think about going to sleep, I was wide awake, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And like, nah, I just gotta stay up and reset my sleep schedule, which is usually works better for me than like continuing to get terrible sleep night after night. Like just do the hard reset. And that's not advice for anybody else out there, but knowing that I had today off of work and that I can go to bed pretty early, I think that was the best way to play it, especially because I was at a place where it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I was wide awake. Like I knew that I wasn't going to be able to like fall asleep in the next couple hours. And so that's my own fault. I shouldn't have put myself in that situation, but now I'm dealing with the consequences. And so, while overall recently I'm pretty grateful to past me, or like recent past me especially. That's the area that present me needs to work on, so that future me is able to be grateful when he looks back at past me. Feels like I took care of him. Okay, this is what happens when you've been up for what, like 30-something hours. But again, that was my own fault. That was my own subjective doing. I can't blame anybody else for that, nor would it help me to. And I'm taking the steps that I need to take to reset. So that's why I'm getting this done right now, and then I can get it published. It's like 7:30 when I'm recording this, and then I can go to sleep pretty soon after I eat some more food, and wake up, get on it tomorrow. And honestly, I'm excited for how to set up my systems, because now that I'm making music, and not just like making music, but making music a key piece of what I'm working on. I want to publish one new song every week, which again, even a few weeks ago to me, no, like a few days ago, I would have told you that is insane. There's not a chance in hell that I'm gonna be able to publish a song with my vocals on it every week. But yeah, the AI tools, just the speed of the workflow, but not just the speed, but like what it can do if you give it the right input and you really, okay, of the song that I got 3 versions of it that I like. I probably generated 90 different copies and just kept iterating and experimenting. And like that's how that process works right now. But still, it's so much better than anything I could have built on my own in the same time frame. Because I love to write the lyrics, and I love to make the melodies, and I love to experiment with that. But the full service production suite is just not my skill set. And it's not that I can't do it. I've built some interesting things that I'm pretty proud of, but it is just such a time-consuming process that, especially with all of the other things that I'm wanting to do, I just couldn't justify it for the amount of output that would actually be there. And that's why I wanted to keep kicking that can down the road. But now there's just opportunities that have never existed before, and I'm ready to make the most of them. And that does include the domain of music, but it also goes so much further than that. So it's one thing to say that. It's another thing to prove it with my actions. I'd say overall, my recent track record has actually been very good. Even if you zoom out, I think my overall track record is good of moving in a way that is directionally correct. But there's definitely room for improvement on just more consistent, meaningful action, and then trending from meaningful action to much more meaningful action. So I'll give you an example of the songs that or really the song, but the 3 different versions of it that I built. The bulk of the time that I spent working on it over the past couple days has been just listening to them on repeat, mostly because I'm still like in awe of that it's even possible. And granted, some of that was to like understand what I needed to adjust in the mastering one, like for me to actually get it published. But a lot of it was just me listening over and over and over again, which I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, but I would rather spend a higher percentage of that time on other things, maybe interrelated things. And just being more deliberate about that. And again, it's not that I can't listen to the stuff that I make. No, dude, I want to make stuff that's so good that I feel like I want to listen to it over and over and over again. And like, I would say the state of the music that I can create right now is far from perfect, although I don't know what perfect music would even be. But I think that it can be damn good. I might go so far as to say it already is. That might be a slight overstatement, but like, it just as my learning curve in using the AI tools gets better and I continue to work on my voice and develop my skill set, and like the lyrics are my favorite part of it. And now that I'm back in that mode, oh man, I was just busting some stuff out today of some that I'm really proud of, and exploring different writing styles, because my writing does tend to be very rhythmic, which has pros and cons, but like just opening up the box a little bit and seeing. All right, it was time to wrap this up a long time ago, but here we are. I really do love you tons, and I'm doing my best to show you with my actions. And so hopefully when future you is watching this, past you, except, well, I guess that doesn't really make any sense. I was trying to bring it back around, but it doesn't quite work in the context of what I was going to say. Basically, present you, do something for future you that future you will appreciate. And then if future you does end up coming back and watching this video, then that will be present you who can thank who's now past you, who was present you at the time that you were first watching this. I'm such a goofball, dude. But like, again, this is the space for me to do this, right? Like, it's my journal. I can do what I want with it, and I try to give you a sense of who I am, and for better and worse, this is who I am. So, have a good night.